What can a G do today? Fortnite shot itself in the foot. I'm sorry as I can be. Because the game is just, it's not a phenomenal game no more. I honestly feel like that's the truth. It's not a phenomenal game, it's nominal. Still a number of bugs, and then they talk about the patch notes. The latest patch broke everything. I tried to play Save the World so I can get some V-Bucks and certain stuff like that. And you know what they did? It wasn't even available. And the Travis Scott skin, I want to get that, but I'm not about to spend no $15. Like, nope. Just won't get it. There's a lot of skins that I got. We got to have Travis Scott in there. I like Travis Scott, but I ain't about to pay no $10. Especially because boosts and certain stuff, rent. I know people getting a 3-month break from paying rent because honestly, banks and stuff can't run. People losing their job left and right. I do feel bad for people losing their jobs, but the market is unbearable and unpredictable. So whatever is going on, it's going to have to, pass. I don't think the coronavirus is definitely pass anytime soon. We're trying to buy time, and then a lot of stuff, a lot of the experts, financial analysts and certain stuff, they're just saving face. They're just saying a lot of stuff that isn't fact, I feel like. And people elevated to get a platform, they really have no basis or grounds to speak on. I feel like that's a lot of cases with a lot of stuff, but that's, so they do. Get elevated to that platform, you know. Hey, there's not really much you can do at that point. Go ahead and get that. 200 something ping? No, people keep on talking about China lied, people died. I find that a little bit funny. People talk about the Wuhan, the stuff, was it biological warfare, like they did a strain or certain stuff. No, a lot of people be eating these exotic animals and certain stuff. I don't agree with people eating exotic animals like bats, monkey, donkey. It don't even matter. I'm not trying to be ethnocentric or racist, but you see people eating these meats. Any meat can have what you call it, contain viruses and certain stuff. You don't know what type of stuff these animals, and animals get sick just like humans. I feel like a whole lot of people don't recognize that too. Animals get sick and they have cancers and certain stuff. Dogs can even get cancers. I know that's gonna be surprising too. Oh. The lag is so bad, bro. Can't bear it. A lot of people ask me my opinions on certain stuff like financial topics. I mean, I do have kind of a background. I'm not completely done, but I haven't worked for a person, but I work for a company, nothing like that. But I think some of the stuff, the guidelines, or certain stuff that we talk about, especially in finance type of class, I mean, I have some insight. I think people getting loans before everything got haywire and certain stuff, everything got shut down. They run people's credit and certain stuff. They use a quick ratio to see how likely or people are to pay back loans and certain stuff like that. Because they want to make sure that, you know, people are able to pay off their loans in a certain time frame. And it's based on like percentage. If people's credit and stuff is tore up, they're not going to get the loan. Or if they get the loan, yeah, that's where it goes bad. People get the loan and they're unable to make payments. And what I mean by payments is like, okay, for like $2,500 or something like that. Not even really lease, because leasing is kind of bad. But let's say somebody tries to get a loan for an auto or something like that. An auto loan for a particular thing, like for their business. And for instance, I'm gonna say some stuff is like 72 months, but why would you upgrade, not an upgrade, but why would you finance a car for 72 months? Because all the bank is doing is getting a kickback, and then at the same time you're paying more over an extended period of time, whatever the agreement is, and then at the same time you miss a payment and they know that your credit and stuff is already bad. They're taking the risk. And let's say a car, the value of it is like, you know, $12,000. By the time everything is said and done with interest rate, and then you're paying back the loan and just the principal, along with the interest rate, you could be like a $12,000 car could easily be like $24,000. Well, not that much, but at least like, I'd say a good $22,000, something like that. Whereas you had a good credit score and interest rate, you probably see, I would say at least a good 16 to 17,000 in that ballpark. But you seriously, I learned a whole lot of stuff that I don't think I really remember, but I don't know. It's like in finance class and certain stuff, we go through a number of ratios and certain stuff like that, and I was actually kind of surprised that because we go through so many ratios, we have to constantly keep learning new concepts and new formulas and new everything. And that was interesting in my opinion, because I'm not the type of person who studies I told somebody before all this coronavirus, certain stuff like the stock market and stuff is going to go down. We're going to be in another recession. That was months before the coronavirus and stuff was talked about. I just said the economy's not doing that good. Even in 2018, I said it's not doing that good. Because I had to, like I said, I had to do a whole 8-page paper. This was around the time that Mortal Kombat came out, so I only played Mortal Kombat for a total of like a day, And I had a whole lot of other stuff going on too at the same time, so that was difficult. And I started to do the 8. I know the business school wants to get people internships, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm gonna have to apply to some, but I'm not really looking forward to that. Not because how am I gonna do a remote internship? I know a lot of the work and certain stuff that I'm gonna be doing. I have to ask somebody like, you know, teach me the ways. I'm not against that, but I guess say the timing. You know, communicator, especially dealing with certain topics. Professor that I got an A in his class for the first thing, but algebra and trig is completely difficult. So by the time everything's said and done, I mean, I walked out there with a 74. Because the great Yo, this guy just killed me because I was lagging, and then that was just bull. I'm pissed, but it's whatever. I got killed because I was lagging, and then I had my build straight. He got Cactus Jack. He got the Travis Scott skin. No, I didn't. It's $15. You think I was spending $15 on that? No. I know people are also unable to pay mortgages. I said this like 2 years ago. People gonna get laid off for a while. They're not gonna be able to pay their bills and certain stuff. And unemployment claims, and then people with unemployment, you're not gonna hear anything for a while because everything's so backlogged. And then the process and the application. And unemployment is really people searching for jobs. It's not you just not having a job. You have to actively be searching for a job. I had to study that too. People not gonna be employed after this thing. Like even after this, I don't think people are going to be employed for a long time, just off the fact and basis of guess what, unemployment ain't gonna last for so long. It's not. I think it is and it isn't. And then the coronavirus stimulus check, that's a bunch of bull in itself because a whole lot of people not seeing their check. And I remember what they said that people was bragging about. They got their coronavirus checks, but that's only like people with like $10,000 a year, and that's trash. $1,200. That's like what? So what? Some people don't even see that a month because $1,200 is like that's a little bit over, and they dropped that for the next 12 months. The people would have made back what they lost. But I also heard that millionaires and certain stuff are getting like $1.7 million because of tax and certain stuff like that. I'm not mad at that millionaires getting their money because it really doesn't benefit me by trying to be philosophical about especially money. Because if you were trying to be a millionaire yourself, why would you, want to pay more in taxes? That makes a whole lot of sense. There's tax breaks and a whole lot of people trying to get deductibles. Getting deductibles and certain stuff deducted is not that hard, but you have to, everything has to go through your business just about. And your books. You can show certain stuff. This is the type of expenses I got. Like, if I have a phone line or certain stuff like that, if I have an accountant or CPA. Like, for instance, if I'm paying for my cell phone bill and I show that this is my business line, this correct, like, directly connected to my business, that's a deductible. Dang. Screen. And the servers are doo-doo, so God. Hopefully I don't get eliminated on BS, because you see I'm lagging there, guys. And nothing is downloading. Nothing is downloading. So I'm actually kind of shocked to see that this is what we got going on here. And people getting a busing out here. People seriously getting a busing. But I'm not seriously surprised by like COVID, anything going on with that, because it's just like viruses and certain stuff. Animals and certain stuff get sick like humans get sick, and a whole lot of people didn't recognize that. And a lot of people don't talk about all these viruses coming out every year. Well, I'm not really surprised about the politicians, what they're saying about the coronavirus and this stuff. Like, a lot of people look for politics to do certain stuff for them. Not saying they shouldn't, but honestly, the information that we've been getting is kind of misinformation about how long this thing's supposed to last, when we're supposed to reopen, because I don't buy it. I'm not buying any of the stuff that people are saying. Except I believe that people need to stay indoors and certain stuff like that, but to give a time frame, it's going to be a lot longer than what people are thinking. You can't open up the economy. The economy is tanking, bruh. There's no cap to that. People living paycheck to paycheck, not having any emergency funds. That's tough, but that's the reality for a lot of people. It's just not. It's just not at a point where people can honestly say that, yeah, you know, this is something that happens. And it does happen to a lot of people. Because, like, for instance, you know, you're a janitor or something like that. Janitors don't get paid well. And that's just how the world works. A janitor does not get paid as much as, you know, a professional, you know, a white-collar person. That's not going to happen. And I know a whole lot of people, like, you know, think that being a server is good, and being a server is bad. I remember somebody trying to get sympathy about servers and talking about they only made $2 an hour. You do make $2 an hour or something like that, but you also make tips. That is true. And then if you don't have a certain required of like money or something like that, they'll cover and match it, but it's not going to be the same as, you know, $7.25 an hour. To be honest, I don't be surprised by like a lot of this stuff that's been going on here recently, especially with lockdowns and certain stuff like that. I'm not surprised, but I feel like every day since the lockdowns and certain stuff have happened, like I've been getting up like not 5, but like I'll be waking up late in the day and then getting started with my day. School and certain stuff could have been done online, and that was a proponent that I like now, because I think we're spending too much money in terms of like schooling. Like schools, especially in my area, they spend about $40,000 a student and certain stuff like that. But they got this specialized school that was really failing people, where, you know, people who were like truants and certain stuff like that, they didn't go to school like that. They had this little alternative learning center. It was like ALC, but it was like, I don't know. It's one of those schools, alternative schools for like bad people who didn't do the work, had behavioral issues and certain stuff like that. I always found that that was like, you know, people who were doing in that, you know what type of pathway they was going anyway. I felt bad for that, but that's on them. You know, you want to be a 2-time felon, act the fool, and be mad at the world because you a 2-time felon. That's on you. Make smarter choices. But back to what I was saying, they would go, there's this little learning center where the people go. They had like certain teachers. People came in whatever time they felt like, and then but they had to complete the mandatory like hours or certain stuff like that. They had minimum help. They had a teacher there, but it's like you were doing modules and certain stuff like that. That was dumb. That old concept, that was dumb. Like, I truly believe that was probably the dumbest thing that I guess school system could fund. It's for people to basically not do anything and then at the same time get away with that. Oh my god. That's what I don't like. It's also the spam building, but we're not here or there. I'm lagging though. So that build battle I would have won on the principle if I wasn't lagging. Cause the other game, one of these other games I got 7 kills and I was destroying people, but that right there was just a bad gunfight, so it is what it is, can't do anything.
Was pleased to hear all the beach cities in LA County saying, look, we're talking to the county, we're speaking with public health, we're talking to the supervisors, but there wasn't
I know a lot of people keep on talking about they're slowing the curve, I honestly believe that the curve and certain stuff, a lot of stuff was skewed. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, and we're analyzing it from a perspective like, what's the thing? I forgot. We're looking at the grass and hoping to intersect at a point and that levels off. I forgot what it's exactly called, but I know how to do it. I know how to do it on the calculator, do the graphs and certain stuff. Whether on TI-83, TI-84. It's been a while though, since I done took math. Can you imagine me taking business calc online? Imagine me taking business calc online. Shout out to Chick, Bria, shout out to Chick. I don't know why people keep on talking about school and certain stuff will be open August. Why are you trying to go back to school? You know what would be good? I know this sounds trash. You know what would be good? Another milkshake. Yeah. But in all honesty, I don't know, man. People don't talk about the virus and stuff slowing down. It's not. The fact is that a whole lot of people, like, I was reading an article or something, stuff like that. It said that 85% within a certain age range is not going to have any symptoms of the coronavirus. And then from that point on, you're going to start seeing cases. Where in older people, the fatality rate, the stuff is going to hike. Do I buy it? Yeah, absolutely. Older people's immune system is compromised. They get a cold or something like that, you know, they could be taken out, man. Yes, sir. Give me that pump. Well, somebody was talking about this whole thing with coronavirus is population control. I don't think that's the case. That just sounds like conspiracy theory going wrong. Like, a lot of conspiracy theories that people spout is based on no evidence, like coronavirus, 5G, It's disrupting the cells in your body. Nigga, what? Doesn't make any sense. Talking about radiations let off. It's not. It's radio communications. All phones are really just radio communications, like the phone stuff. It's just radio waves. Like you have what you call it, CDMA, GSM, all just radio stuff. And all that basically is like communications. Like for instance, if I'm what you call it thing, if I'm a business or something like that, and I have, for instance, let's say, you know, the thing about CDMA phones and GSM phones, CDMA, like Verizon, I used to have them. You couldn't have, there was no such thing as a SIM card. They assigned you a phone. You had to pay for the phone, but your phone was basically, there was no SIM card. You already had like a subscriber ID. They would send you a phone with your stuff already programmed up there, like your number and certain stuff like that. And when I switched to T-Mobile, or at least when my dad switched to T-Mobile and certain stuff, all that stuff I couldn't trade in my Verizon phone because it was uncompatible on the networks. That was before the SIM card stuff. That was like 2011. And certain stuff like that. And T-Mobile's just trash. I'll put it out there for you. Don't deal with T-Mobile. One of the reasons why I say don't deal with like phone companies and certain stuff like that is because the phone companies, they're making their money. Like, I'm not against that, but at the same time they're passing on some of the stuff off to you, because phone networks in themselves are not that profitable in a sense. Like 5G, it won't be profitable for companies. That's why they only have limited markets, because there's no such thing as a true definition of 5G right now. There's not. Like T-Mobile don't even have 5G. A whole lot of companies not gonna be able to roll that out because there's no wireless standard right now for 5G. And then at the same time, bandwidth. A lot of companies not gonna try to release all that bandwidth all at once, so it's not surprising there. And a lot of stuff too, like in a business sense, is not going to be profitable for certain people. Like if I'm a company, I'm based in, you know, Dallas. Like AT&T's actual headquarters not in Dallas. It's Texas. True, it started in Texas, but its headquarters actually in Atlanta. Like they have regional headquarters and certain stuff, but that's just not. Their blueprint is really West Coast. AT&T is the best in the West Coast. East Coast is pretty decent. I'll probably say where it's decent at. North Carolina is pretty decent. Florida, I don't really know about Florida. Florida's kind of iffy too. T-Mobile is even iffy in Florida. T-Mobile's not even really a West Coast base type of thing. I can't even say that with confidence that they are, because they're really aren't in a sense. The network and certain stuff is not really won any type of you know, a claim to it. It's just more like, hey, this is what we got, this is what we're doing, and certain stuff like that. I don't know, even with the phone bills too, a lot of people got these contracts and certain stuff that they're not going to make good on, and people's credit score will go down. I know a whole lot of people with these jobs too, especially, you know, that are like commission based. They hurting. But honestly, I don't feel sad for people trying to sell people on a commission. Like, no, especially with these TV companies, they see that people are young And talk about who's your internet and stuff provider, how much you paying for that. You're asking people a little bit too many personalized questions about this, or how many channels or this stuff. People don't know how much channels they have normally. Know what type of package they got. That's why a lot of stuff in my case, it don't make sense. Like, especially with the selling commission-based jobs, those really suck. And a lot of people get laid off if they're not hitting a certain amount of, you know, targets or, you know, their goal. And I think that that's, I would say it's more so about the company than certain stuff. And a lot of stuff is passed off to the consumer if they're having a hard time selling stuff like iPhones. Another thing I'm weary of is, like, for instance, who's another cell phone company that was doing some shady stuff? I say AT&T. When they had the buy one get one iPhone 7 and certain stuff. AT&T and all these phone companies are crooks because, like, for instance, you trading your phone with them and certain stuff like that. I know my father, we switched to AT&T from T-Mobile like 2016, and we definitely sent in the phones to what you call it. They told us to send it to one of their facilities and certain stuff in transit, and the person worked for like UPS, like in transit, stole the phone and was on the T-Mobile network. My dad was so hot. And he still had my dad pay the price of a phone when it was clearly buy one get one, but you had to trade in your phone. That made no sense. That was theft. And the fact that somebody really stole a phone that you had to trade in and send it in, that was BS. And then a lot of phone companies too, you'll never have a phone bill that looks the same, like exactly the same, whatever you pay a month. Like if it's 5 lines, $190, you don't see that. It may be $220. You don't know what they could be doing. They're jacking up the price. And then at a certain point, they'll do a lot of stuff for you in the beginning, but that's not going to happen. Who's shooting? Someone shooting, I want to know. A whole lot of people talking about government funding and certain stuff like they ain't take the programs away, but everybody, regardless of political party, is benefiting by this. You know, you're making up for lost income on the real. Right. Such a shitty place right now. How? They didn't take that out of the game. I would have won that if that guy had stopped spamming with the doggone. It is what it is. I can't do nothing against that, bro. He kept on spamming with that doggone thing. I killed the other dude because he was doo-doo. With the, kept on spam building. I'm surprised that even got him that blast radius with the purple RPG. Considering everything to be happening with that. Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is a scrub. Nick Foles was a whole lot, I would say Nick Foles was a whole lot more, he wasn't better, but he was at least more skilled in the fact that he didn't get injured and stuff like that. Because Carson Wentz, he got injured a lot, I think. And Nick Foles was like a backup QB, and then Nick Foles proved his worth. But at the same time, franchises and certain stuff, they're going to move on real quick. That's another thing people don't realize. You might be a franchise player, like, especially when the player gets franchise tag, like Cam Newton, he got franchise tag and they got rid of him. And someone is smoking something. They think that Christian McCaffrey is going to get the most yards. You're smoking something. You're smoking something. And Cam Newton himself, he wasn't playing that good. Cam Newton hasn't been good in the last, 5 years, relatively speaking. His mental clarity on the field is just off. Off court, off field antics, and then these outlandish suits. All this outlandish designs Cam Newton got, bruh. No. Not a fan. You cannot tell me that this server stuff is just not, bro. These servers and stuff is off, so can't even do anything. They're gonna have to give us some V-Bucks, bro. Christian McCaffrey, bro. He's not seeing any yards, bro. I even told somebody that Von Miller and himself, he is good. However, you think about it, just because you're good on one team, you know the game, you know all the defensive routes and certain stuff that you're taking to counter people's offense and certain stuff like that. Von Miller did a great job with the Broncos against Cam Newton. But if you ask me today, do I think he's still good? Relatively speaking of the game, absolutely. But with a team that you're good on and they're not good, you're not going to do that much. You're not going to do that much. Like, especially another person who was good for a long time. That was good, a good quarterback, like a couple years, and consider that team hasn't done anything in a long time, considerably. The Chicago Bears, Mitchell Trubisky, he was doing pretty good, but he just stunk it up for a while, man. He was bad. If someone said that Cam Newton was a franchise QB I'ma say yeah, yes and no. Cam Newton was good for a specific reason. I feel like he was one of the strongest QBs, and then he was very, what you call it, strong. In the fact that he was 6'5" and like 245. He's a big dude. I would say he's not 245. He at least gotta be 265. Cam Newton was knocking people over who tried to tackle him, but at the same time, I feel like there's only a certain amount of times that you can do that for your eggs get scrambled, man. Your brain gonna be sloshed around your head a certain number of times. You're not gonna remember what day of the week it is. And it's like football, for instance. I don't like football that much. I can't watch football, and it's not because it's just bad. I don't like the tackling. Football is just way too long. Like the Super Bowl, I don't really like the Super Bowl that much. I might watch it for the fact of the matter, just to watch it. What I mean, just to watch it. It's not something that I honestly am excited about, because football, like certain people in my family, they really get excited about football. I think basketball, I love basketball a lot, so I'm more in tune with basketball than I am with football. The same thing. Baseball. I used to love baseball, but baseball was another one that's just way too long. 9 innings. By everything is said and done, like if you think about it, just the amount of sheer time and the commercials and the advertisements that people are running, that's just way too much time to be looking at something, man. Like, you know, and like complete being objective, there is nothing I could really see myself really doing in between the time, like with these long commercial breaks that they're doing, you know, Bud Light, all these different people. Nah. And they're running the same advertisements, and I know they gotta get their money up. They basically pay for primetime advertising. A lot of stuff just keep going on. And businesses, in my opinion, like corporations and certain stuff like that, they're paying a lot of money for advertising, but don't mean they're gonna bring in new people. Oh, did Dad tell you that Angus? Oh, nah, what you call it? Not that. Did Dad tell you that Ruth Chris, what you call it, was running a $12 cheeseburger? That was funny, a $12 cheeseburger. And if you spend like what, $75, they give you $25 gift card. Curbside delivery. I like Ruth Chris, like the bread. I like fine dining every now and then. Businesses. That's funny. People put pressure on Ruth Chris to turn that $20 million. Rightfully so. In all honesty, I don't see the businesses and certain stuff like that. I don't see why it was public. At least there's other businesses and certain stuff that don't need the money either, but they got out on reserves. Bailout. Law. You think you're gonna kill me on that one? You're smoking crack. a lot of people talking about businesses. Like for instance, you know, the balance sheet, certain stuff like that. I really have to look at analyzing certain stuff for principles of finance class I take in college, of course. I'm just thinking about all these different accounting courses. I'm not into accounting and finance. It's just not something that I really value in a sense. I do value it, but because you're going through so many ratios and then you have to look at certain stuff, and you could be looking for the content, but there's always a different answers. There's always different answers. And that's the thing I don't like. You'll get confused on a concept that you learn maybe once and then you see it again. You're told that you're not really going to use that or see that again, but you do. I know a whole lot of businesses too with inventory to asset ratio too. I don't think too many businesses are going to be able to flip profit like that either, so just kind of that on that pretty much. They said that even restaurants with stuff, the beer, the kegs and stuff that they got craft beer on tap and get the kegs and they pour it, you know, for special deals and certain stuff like that, that beer is gonna go stale. It is what it is in that case. There's no such thing as like pandemic insurance. There's no such thing as pandemic insurance for businesses. That's why they have the small business administration loan. But small business administration loans, even before that, I had to do another project on that, and that was pretty trash. I had to do a thorough thing about like a 6-page paper for like something for my English class about my major and why I chose it, and then what's something about like, you know, what am I trying to do with my degree? Am I trying to run a small business or something like that? Yeah. Being a business major, you don't have time for a lot. You don't. You got like one time to graduate. And everything that you have to do, you got to get a 70 or better. Or else you're not going to advance to the next level of what you call classes that you need to take. And then another thing that's kind of screwed me too is not being able to take a certain class because it's only offered a certain amount, like a certain time during like the semester. That screwed me. For sure. Because you think about it, we're spending a lot of time in these classes, core classes. This guy can't so I can shoot. Dumbass. Not that bad of a sniper. I still like sniping. I know that don't make that much sense, but I'm not a big of a sniper on this game. Gonna have to bounce. I know I was looking at this thing, they did an article about somebody like, oh, yeah, they said that Floyd Mayweather is broke. Basically, practically broke because he done blew through his money going to the strip club, spending 50,000. How much of every money you spend? He's looking for a new payday to live his lifestyle, certain stuff like that. That's on him. Focus on your boxing promoting company. There's no really boxing matches that are breaking records, if we're being completely honest. There's no good fights on. The last good fight that I think was Wilder versus Tyson Fury, and even with that one was interesting, but at the same time it's not really breaking the records that Floyd Mayweather did. But there's also been some interesting fighters too. Dominic Brazil, he was an okay fighter. He's just not that good though. I'm dead. Can you make me a milkshake real quick? Please.
No.
You can't?
Why?
I don't know. I mean, I know how to make it, but I don't know how to do the settings.
All you do is put the shit in there and press the button that says milkshake.
Okay. Alright. workout. I like to go to full time. There's not that much calories in this. This is a small thing, but with the whole thing, man. Well, milk tastes good to you. I thought I put too much milk in it, but I didn't. You hear me? Mom told me not to put the thing on the thing there too long. Like, you know how the bread.
Yeah, what?
You know how the time goes down? I let the thing go to full time.
Okay.
But she was like, you know, you're making too much noise, you're wasting electricity. And you know,
That's good.
it was only 30 seconds. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you just have your moment. I don't know if I want to keep on going. I made the most dumbest mistake by dropping early to what's this place called? Misty. Say the world hasn't been working properly. They should give me like at least 1,300 V-Bucks or something, a good denomination of V-Bucks or a free skin or do something. Deadpool's I'll say decent skin, but it's like it lost its value. Got it, man. Damn. The lag that they having today on Fortnite, oh boy, way too high. Retail would have even been in the circle. That's interesting. Some of the guns on this Fortnite basically didn't serve a purpose. Like, for instance, the guns that they got now, like the FAMAS. The FAMAS is so bad when it was gold and purple and blue. That was good. Like, the AK is still good, but the AK should never have been gray. At most, it should have been green. I know they tried to rework a lot of stuff. I was a fan of it, and then again, I'm not a fan of it. The attack, I like the attack, but the attack is kind of bad. And I remember the original attack, the purple one, and that was OP. Because it didn't have a slower fire rate. The one that they got now is definitely a whole lot slower. It still does a lot of damage, but nah, not a fan of it that much. And honestly, the shotguns in the game, not a fan of it either, so. Yes, sir. Ooh, don't mind if I do. Exactly what I needed. A lot of people call this like a what you call it. Anybody knows, you know, this is my favorite weapon in the game, the RPG. So that was not a lot of milkshake that I had. I'm sorry about leaving the stream on, but your boy is back. Knowing people that just what you call it ended the stream or something. But nah. I guess another interesting thing about certain stuff is also people, especially during this time, have been stressing the importance of side hustles or certain stuff like that. But another thing I'm still thinking about, especially the food and certain, it's not even restaurants, caterers. Caterers are small businesses, which don't mean they're gonna be successful, because who's having a party catering food? Like seriously, they're gonna go under. Ain't nobody talking about that one, but they're going under. You know what I was still thinking about, Bria? You know what you call it? The Randolph brothers died in that certain time frame, and then the dude, the last one, said, "I'm next." Why would you go? I'm next. That was stupid. I'm next. That made no sense. Die to dialysis. Stuff. They want to keep continuing dialysis. Yes, sir. But it's like back to back. Ain't none of them left really, except that one. Yes, Lord, good ass loot that I'm getting. I ain't gonna say too much. When that nigga shooting on that hot shit for the police, cause the bitches ain't gonna stop shit. I was just getting mad, get popped, quick, fly, thing in the building. Yeah, I'm a cockpit. Post it on camera lot with 100-some shots. Shot does heat the nigga up like he eat them spots for a shot. I keep me some rosters. Trapping out the band though. Move in the past, move in the kilos. I think that a lot of rappers here recently, if we been a buck from dummy. Come here, boy. Come here. Shoot your ass, man. Fortnite's been lagging since the Travis got it, man. I'm not here for it. How? This guy hit me with a burst twice, and I had good loot. This game broke. It is what it is. I can't do nothing against that. Oh yeah, we keep talking about the NFL players living paycheck to paycheck, or these NBA players living paycheck to paycheck. I don't buy it, simply for the reason that people got endorsement deals coming on, and some of that money is guaranteed. What I do believe too is that a lot of these people, agents and certain stuff, they're looking out for themselves too. And some of these agents are shiesty too, so. It is what it is, you know, you can't do that much against that. So if I'm taking, let's say, a rookie contract, there's some people, the agent was like, what, 3 people, has like 3 different people under him, and he's their agent. Athlete number 1 makes $16 million. He signs a contract, you know, $80 million, $16 million. The agent, you know, gets, say about, he's going to get at least on the end of, like, let's say 5 years. 80 million, 5, 4. He's going to see 16. He's probably going to see about $1.6 million a year off that deal. And let's say, you know, the other people, $12 million, you know, 2 years. The agent's probably going to see a couple mil, give or take. Do I think that's an L? No, not really. It just depends. Because a lot of people know that agents can't do that much for them. And a lot of these people, they don't have a lot of time to look over certain stuff. Like, for instance, they may have assistants or certain stuff answering their phone, or, you know, dealing with team affairs or certain stuff like that. You want to talk to me, you got to talk to my agent. That type of thing. That happens a whole lot. Especially in all the type of entertainment stuff, too. Like, a celebrity, for instance, is not going to have the time of day to deal with bookings. That's why they have people do it. And the schedule and certain stuff like that. But with the schedule, what I'm thinking, especially with a schedule like that, you know, people going on tour, and certain stuff like that. That's cool. That's all fine and dandy. But I don't see or understand how people have tax issues. You know, they singing, you know, they got tax liens, and before you know it, they're up in court. Like, for instance, Chris Tucker, he's funny, for sure. I think he's really good. But I feel like his time phased out. He was like, I feel like there's a lot of people who are good within the time frame that they made movies or made whatever. But I don't think that a lot of people in the business is just like, here, I'm going to have this amount of stuff, X, Y, and Z happen. Or a lot of people get typecasted. They're basically playing that. I feel like that's Kevin Hart's main issue, especially with the films. He's typecasted. He's always playing the same character every film. Kevin Hart is a likable, you know, person, but his movies here lately haven't been that funny. Kevin Hart definitely made a come up from Soul Plane. Soul Plane was a terrible film. And black people love that film. It was definitely a low budget production. Movie came out when I was like what? Around like 6, 7, 6.5 basically. Let's see if I didn't get a scar. So I'm gonna leave this real quick. Come back. Sun's down. A lot of people ask me, can jobs be done from home? Yes, they can, but a lot of people are not gonna try to do that. Jobs from home so they can micromanage people, and also they don't want you to be sitting on your ass at home, basically. So they can check you. I feel that's another reason why a lot of companies and certain stuff are not a proponent. They don't want to necessarily continue to keep doing that, but it looks like it's going to have to resort to that. That's a troll. That's a troll. Because there is no way that I just got two kids like that. There's no way I got 2 kids. You know, school's not doing pass fail. Well, they're doing pass fail. They're just not doing AB for elementary school kids. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4. Doing pass fail. I don't know why I destroyed those things. I have 100 health, but just have it. Green. Let's see, bro. Fortnite eating to run people their money, bro. And I have some doo-doo servers like this, and have an event during the pandemic. Fortnite is broke. Call of Duty is just doo-doo, bro. No cap. Don't like the game. I mean, I might try to play it for y'all, but honestly, relatively speaking, there's certain games I just don't have fun playing, and it's pretty much, it's due to a lot of stuff like, Nobody asked for skill-based matchmaking, and that's just that's what that guy was doing. But thank you for the loot, pal. Thanks for the $10 donation, bruh. Thanks. Thank you, sister, for the $10. Next time, make it 20. I don't see anybody still supports that, man. The real reason why I'm using 2 rocket launchers, if I get in a sticky situation, I'll be able to switch. I don't have enough mats to even get 150, yeah. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna stick with what I got for now. I feel like in the grand scheme of things, a lot of stuff's not gonna matter. It's in the next couple of months. What I mean by that, like, what exactly am I talking about? What's not gonna matter in the next couple of months? Like, for instance, the fact that businesses and stuff like that aren't profitable. Nobody's about to be profitable. And the thing is, the collapse. Like movie theaters are gonna be, they're gonna go bankrupt because they have, you know, there's a lot of businesses and certain stuff like that. They have 100-year leases, and the rent and stuff, they don't own the building. Like a lot of malls, they don't own the building; they're owned by a group. And then the stores and the rent is too high, and they want to go out of business. And what do I think about businesses and certain stuff not being able to pay their rent and certain stuff like that? It's to be expected. Businesses can operate free, but at the same time, if you're not at a price point, a lot of these items and certain stuff that we buy are 1,000% markup, or even more than that. And some of the stuff is made cheap. I remember somebody talking about we need to stop buying stuff from China. China makes everything. China lied, people died. That's just stupid. I think China is very, what you call it, they don't want information to be out there. Why do they not want information out there for certain stuff? It's because it's just saving face. They're talking about the president of China. The president of China is just not what you call it. It's not really a real thing for the CCP. The China's Communist Party is not. Anytime you get denied 3 times for the China's Communist Party, there's something wrong with that. Everybody on the Chinese Communist Party is a billionaire, so they're going with that one. You know, a whole lot of news reporters and certain stuff like who are reporting on the coronavirus like first, the people gonna miss, they probably presume to be dead. And why are these people dead? Because simply because what you call it, the information can't be out there. Why can't the information be out there? Save face. It's one of the reasons why a lot of stuff is out there, more stuff about coronavirus. Especially from China's perspective, everything is controlled narrative. So. It's not surprising. For me to say I'm surprised is almost and the way that you control the narrative too, also with that, is you eliminate some people. You don't want the truth to get out about the coronavirus, then you effectively gonna control what's getting said out there about this whole thing. My whole thoughts on the coronavirus really haven't changed. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, do I think businesses and stuff are going to operate differently? Yeah. Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? They don't like it. Somebody's over here, but I'm gonna light them up. I die. Ah, I just died because of some stupid sugar nasty I did. Wow. Never change my skin. I need to change back to cable. I didn't play Fortnite in a couple days, and then what you call it? Got supercharged. That supercharged didn't last that long, and this game is buggy. So. No, a whole lot of people are talking about too in college about joining fraternities and certain stuff. That was just dumb. Like people were seriously doing probates and certain stuff online. How do you do that? Now, what was the process of doing that? I never really got the concept of like this stuff that was going on, like especially like people getting hazed and all this foolishness. It's not necessarily foolishness, but it's just what you call it. I don't see how people could be cooling and then calling somebody their line brother, line sister. It's bull. You right, that's how it works, but I just couldn't be cool with nobody like that, bruh. You said that's how it works. You right.
I'm not saying anything's okay, but people, I mean, some of the stuff that happens is
Like a grown man getting his asshole swindled.
he's speaking too much on stuff that you shouldn't be speaking on, and I'm just gonna say that, like, because you be speaking on stuff you heard as if it's facts, and it's like you just shouldn't be speaking on stuff like that. It's like stuff that's like private. And are you on live? Like this, some of the stuff you're talking about is not for live. I'm talking about people's families and naming people's.
I didn't name.
We was talking about the roles and all that.
I know. Oh well. Oh boy. It's tough out here for a camp. Oh, Fortnite is so bad right now. It is literally lagging. Charlotte, let's see. You know, Charlotte. A lot of people ask me about what I think about coronavirus, especially there's a whole lot of cases in Charlotte, like over 1,000. Who threw that? They took that out of the game, bro. The fact that I got through the thing in there and I was already in there like that. It's whatever, bro. Rat tat tat tat. Ooh. Oh god, so that's hilarious. Going to class 24/7. Retail rule. You know, people talk about foods, like, or foods, like certain foods during the pandemic, like pork and certain stuff. A lot of foods and certain stuff are gonna just go up. People talking about gas prices are gonna go down. Yeah, they are, because nobody's going anywhere. And then I feel like gas is gonna be, it's gonna be bad. Especially if it goes down to 75 cents. In turn, it'll be good, but the quality of gas is gonna go down. A lot of gas we got comes from the Middle East. But if we create gas, what it's gonna be is what you call ethanol. It's gonna be like corn liquor gas. That's all it is. It's corn liquor. Yeah. Goddamn. Goddamn. Roxanne. Roxanne. No people talk about frats, but frats, there's a lot of stuff, even a lot of stuff that goes on too. At, you know, frats, even bands, if you take it too seriously. Like I remember a couple years ago, especially at schools and certain stuff like that, people getting hazed for bands like FAMU. A guy died, what you call it, I think it was trying to exercise him or something like that. And the guy may have had a heart condition, he just passed out and died. Hazing is stupid though. I don't see how anybody, they say you're not gonna get hazed, but that's not the thing, you know. Hazing is part of the process. No. Remote learning. Anti-vaxxers. A lot of anti-vaxxing stuff is what you call stupid, talking about there was no kids with autism. Autism, they test people early on, they ain't got nothing to do with no vaccine. The person who said that fabricated evidence and even admitted to it, and people still believe that guy. Anti-vaccine thing has just been going on for a while. I don't see that going away. And it probably isn't going away for a foreseeable future, so you gotta deal with it. Gotta deal with it. Ooh. I'm lucky that guy was bad. My controller is dying on me, and I still killed that guy. Jeez Louise, boy. This guy. That was annoying, but I dealt with that guy, my controller died. That was bullshit, but oh well, we deal with it. Russell Simmons sexual assault. Russell, that was that lady talking about, she went over to that man's house and talking about he wanted to oh god. He wanted some head. Like, why would you go to that man's house? Yeah, you agreed. I'm not saying that you didn't do that. But, you know, I feel like these people these executives, they're creeps. They're creeps for sure, but and normally some of these people be hearing around about some of these people too. Especially like these executives and producers, they have some tendencies. That's nothing new. But in terms of business, like people losing, you know, their contracts, like certain stuff, like Tiger Woods, he was one who, you know, he lost everything. I used to love going to the gas station getting a Tiger Woods Gatorade. That was pretty good. And then I kept on looking for that junk, and I realized they pulled everything. Rolex, they did a thing with him, and then he had his own line of watches called like Tag Heuer, something like that. Those watches aren't worth anything, really. My dad had like one or two of them. Fortnite needs to stop having these events because their servers are doo-doo. Fortnite. I think I can get to 300. Do I want to get to 300? So it's a question. Not really. Whatever the max level is for the gold banana agent Philly. No. I do not want to get it. I missed the whole thing of you actually going up, like, the battle pass tier to 10 things, to 10 stars, whatever you needed. Come on, bro. Good night. Good night. Good night. Cable. music fest. People talk about bags getting messed up because of the coronavirus. I don't know about that one. Like someone talking about a rich person. I don't think a rich person will be affected by the coronavirus. Like if you had a restaurant, you were making head over heels like money, then yeah, I think you'd be affected. But if you already had like, you know, a reasonable amount of money and the thing, the only thing I can honestly think of that will get people screwed over with this whole COVID situation is not taking care of their books. If we're honest, not taking care of your books. Like for instance, if you have a business and you have a lot of meats and distribution, like you go to a supplier or you go to a butcher or something like that, or you're getting your stuff from Tyson Foods, like your chicken breast, your meats, and you have a lot of meat sitting in there and your store is closed and stuff like that. You have all these employees and then you gotta pay your cooks, you know, wage, maybe $10 an hour or so, certain stuff like that. And then yeah, I definitely think you could lose a lot of money then. But I don't think it's probable for businesses and certain stuff that like they weren't getting paid. Like established brands like the Blue Chris, I'm not mad they got the $20 million. I just think that smaller businesses. You don't try that shit on me. Come on, bro. Bitch. I know what to do. I'm not going to be afraid to engage somebody like that, because that's what normally gets you killed anyway. When you're not taking some of these, I would say you don't be overly aggressive like how I did, but no, you really have to be careful with that. Ramp rushing is pretty much pointless in my opinion. It's a good strategy, but there's a lot of times that people gonna get you either way. So let's go. Exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I needed. I know the pistols, the SMGs are faster than the pistol, but I know with a pistol, somebody can just spam build with the pistol. And they see you have a pistol, you can just laser them. Oh boy. I know that, like, bruh. I know people who are like, some of my friends got girls pregnant, like, within the last, they're pregnant, the girl has been pregnant for like months, and then they had the baby. I wouldn't be having no baby now, especially no pandemic, and then these young babies and stuff is dying at the hospital because they're exposed to these different pathogens. What I mean by pathogens is like bacteria, germs, certain stuff like that. I know somebody didn't believe me when I said that like there's a number of diseases and certain stuff that affect certain type of communities, like black people, sickle cell anemia, and then Jewish people have Tay-Sachs. I'm gonna call me, man. Son of a bitch. How? I'm not really fucking with this game right now, bro. That's the honest to God truth. So I might get on what you call it for a bit. Modern Warfare. But I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. I'm out about y'all. Peace. Stop stream.